Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective for the pregame show. I hope everyone is doing well. I really do mean that. This is our second show for the day. First, it was the Blue Morning Show, and now we're here for the pregame show where we analyze and discuss the lineup, debate whether Thomas Tuchel has made the best selection that will help Chelsea Football Club get the win for the day. So you are welcome. And I still haven't seen the lineup here. It takes a while before these guys pull it up, but I'll be checking the fifth stand up in case if I already have it there. So let me check. I can read it from you there. When it reflects on the screen here, we will see the structure and everything that we need to know. Um, yeah, thank you very much. And this is my brother ZV Genius saying a big up, Coachila. I will join for a bit. Yes, if you want to do that, I'll send the link. Add the link to the panel in the chat. And more importantly, I hope you're doing well, brother. I really do mean that. There you go. This is the link to the panel in case you have time to join, and I appreciate that. I'll refresh this again. But before I do that, I'd let you know that I'm using this for free. They're not paying me. It just makes the process seamless, and you can get a copy for your Apple product. You can get a copy for your Android product, and also Huawei. Very great app. It has statistics and everything you need to follow the game if you're not watching it on TV. But then again, like I said, it makes the whole process seamless for us. So I'm going to check the fifth chance. They probably already have the lineup there. It takes these guys a while sometimes to show the lineup. Yep. Let's see what we have here. Quickly see what we have. It's still opening. Okay, let me see if I can see the lineup here. Yep, team sheet is in, and in the lineup we have Chelsea. Mendy keeps his place, which I did not expect that to happen. For me, if you ask me, I'd say I'd bench Edward Mendy just to make him understand that place is not his to keep. I'd make him understand if you underperform, you drop to the bench. That would have been an important message to him because sometimes players need that little nudge to show them, look, we understand. Yeah, I know you're the number one goalkeeper, but Kepa Arrizabalaga can also come in and do a good job. So, Matt, welcome to the panel. How you doing today, brother?
Doing all right. I mean, from this lineup, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Like at first, I had to double refresh to see if it was the right lineup. Like this, it's just I don't know. Every week it gets worse. But like I trust Tuchel all the way. So like I'm not gonna criticize on the lineup. I mean, too much. I'm not gonna criticize too much. I mean, obviously I'm gonna criticize on it. I mean, again, if we're starting from the back, like again, as you just said, Mendy should not be starting this game. He should not
He
be starting this
shouldn't.
game. He shouldn't.
Yeah,
No
he
way he should be starting
shouldn't.
this
Go
game.
ahead.
No, there's no way. I mean, and I know you're gonna literally just say what I'm gonna say, but it's the last game summed it up. Like he's mentally
Yeah,
drained, and like the people who didn't see that, go rewatch the game. Look how he made the. I watched Mendy highlights for like for like 25 minutes straight, just watching what Mendy did every single time, and I can see that the way he was saving these goals, it wasn't him. You could tell how tired he was, how delayed he was, and he wasn't in the right mindset that game. And this game was supposed to be a good rest for him, but he's not getting that. So from that he's gonna have consequences, and the consequences is that he's not gonna turn up 100%. So that's on Tuchel.
yeah, that's on Tuchel, by the way, because the fact is, I think he's overdone it. And again, the question I want to ask right now: what if something happens to Mendy, even if it's in great form? But right now, I think he isn't. Maybe for Senegal, yes. For Chelsea Football Club, it's been one error after the other. I know Andrew came on the other day and argued that he's not sure where that's coming from. You could argue since the game against West Ham United, Edouard Mendy has been averaging at least one error per game, dangerous ones. I think we've been lucky that opponents haven't made the most out of it. So that's why I'm surprised he's starting. He needs to get that message into his head. If you underperform, you drop to the bench. Naturally, that makes whoever it is that is everybody, anybody in the world start doing better and be more concentrated on what they're doing, because all the mistake is made, you could say, is out of carelessness or lack of
It's
proper
not him.
concentration.
It's not him.
So
And then just quickly, and we got to keep the same thing for Werner. Like people go, "Oh, Mendy was fantastic for Senegal." Well, Werner is fantastic for Germany, but when he comes in this team, he's shocking, and that's not like why is he on this list? He should never be in a Chelsea shirt again. He is absolutely horrible. I don't know why he's on this
mhm.
pitch.
Absolutely, he shouldn't. He shouldn't. And again, wherever you're watching from, please do take some time to like the video so that the YouTube algorithm can push it to more people who are interested in the pregame show. So, Matt, let's talk about the back three. To me, I would say I don't really have a problem there, except for the fact that Christensen is starting. He was awful. He was really awful
Mm,
in that last game. I think he and Thiago Silva shouldn't be starting at the same time, if you ask me. If you have Antonio Rudiger as a left center back, man, and you have Thiago Silva as the person that leads the back line, and then you should have somebody like Trevor Chalobah on the right hand side, because Chalobah is pacey, he's quicker than all of them there, if you ask me. So I'm not sure why Christensen is starting, especially after that woeful performance in the Champions League. Your thoughts,
mm.
Matt?
I would rather have Christensen on this pitch today than Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva, again, it's another player like who needs a massive rest. He comes from Brazil. He's playing 3-4 games in a row. He's 37, and we can see his age is declining. His performance. This man needs a rest, and I would slot in Chalobah, and I would start Christensen. I'm not a fan of him, but I think he's a must start. I would rather him than start at this very moment. So I would play Chalobah this game, but I'm more worried about Thiago Silva than Christensen because I mean Thiago Silva is absolutely dead. He's
But
dead
you
right
could
now.
argue
He's dead tired.
Christensen was awful. He was awful in
He's
that
shit.
last game, wasn't he?
But it's like there's nothing we can do. Like I mean, we can at least sub maybe Thiago. I would rather rest Thiago this game from the Madrid game. I'm more focused on the Madrid game. I think this game is very very important. But we can take these risks. Like we can play Kepa. That's not a big risk. So like we can play Chalobah instead of Thiago. Like, that's not a big risk. But like playing Christensen here today is not that like big of a deal. I would rather him than force Thiago to play every single game. I just don't want Thiago on that pitch.
You're not going to even consider Trevor Chalobah for the right centre back.
Yeah, I would, and I'll slot in Christensen in the middle. So I would take off Thiago Silva because I don't want him playing this game. I want Chalobah on the right, and I want Christensen slotting in the middle.
Okay, let's look about the two sixes. What do you think? I think for me, if you ask me about the two sixes, I think I would say that's the best we can do. That's actually our best
Mm.
combo there in terms of defensive solidity and also the ability to progress the ball no matter how the opponents press us. Your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, I'm not fussed. I mean, I think Jorginho he had an okay game last on Real Madrid. I don't mind seeing him drop. Like, I mean, I want Kante. I would rather Kante continuously him playing because he's not injury prone at this very moment. So thank God, and hopefully he doesn't get injured any more than this. And if he's playing on bad form, the best way to get rid of a bad form is just to kind of play him, and only specifically for him because him playing more will get him back that confidence. So I'm happy he's signing, and I'm very happy Kovac is signing because I think he definitely started this game. So that 260 is probably the best decision on this whole lineup.
Honestly, I'd say I know you said he had an okay game. I think he was awful in that game. He was our midfield. I think that game was one of from the midfield. If you paid attention, honestly,
Mm,
I don't think I would risk him in this game. I think the combo there is perfect. Angolo Kante is more defensively sound than Kovacic is, but
yeah,
I think as a captain, I don't think he has best of records whenever he captains the team.
really? Oh,
I don't know if you paid attention to that too.
no, I didn't know that stat.
I think he hasn't been lucky as a captain for us, if you ask me. How about Loftus-Cheek? What is he doing there? Is there a lack
Uh,
of options?
we don't. We have is Aspian thing on the bench? I think they're on. Oh, Lukaku's out. But oh wait, they're not. Oh, Reece James is there. Aspie must be not on that bench. But
Even
again, like
Ziyech is
why?
on the bench.
It doesn't make sense. We're resting the wrong players. Reece James is getting back from injury. He must be starting. I don't understand this. Like we can play Reece James and then play Chalobah behind him and then take off Thiago. Like rest the player we actually need. We don't need to be resting Reece James, and that's why Tuchel. It's really confusing me why he's doing this. Like Alonso, I understand, but Loftus Cheek, it makes no sense to me. It really makes no sense. I think
And
just slot him in at this point.
playing him there doesn't help him either. He's gonna get confused even more. He's played
He's
as
gonna
a
be like a
centre
headless
back under
chicken.
Thomas. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying he's like a headless chicken there. He played there I think about a month and a half ago, if I'm not mistaken. And people said he did well. I thought he was awful, and he's been awful the last couple of months. And I don't want him on that pitch like Werner. I don't want him to see him. I only want to see him if we've got no other option. So again, I don't know the reasoning here. I would rather take the risk of playing Saul there, honestly, than Loftus-Cheek. But again, Tuchel is confusing me, man.
Yeah, I'm confused too. Let's talk about Alonso. To me, I wouldn't say I don't have any problem with that because against Madrid, Cesar Azpilicueta started there and he was really awful. I think we're better off having Alonso there since
Yeah.
we have Rudiger here. Rudiger as a left centre back in the left centre back position, and with these two guys on the pitch, I think you could say our defense has proper protection from the midfield. So I think his primary responsibility will probably be to attack.
Mm.
Though you'd be scared of him starting, given that Tino Livramento starts. I think he's dealt with him there before. I think he was it. Okay, I think it was Chilwell that he considered the penalty for him. Your thoughts on
Mm.
Alonso starting?
There was. You know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but like we kind of missed Alonso last game. Like we missed that kind of left footing cross. We missed a lot of that attacking threat. Even though Alonso he's not the best person to, he doesn't never tracks back. He's very lazy. But in games like Madrid, I think he would have done a bit more better than Aspi. But I would rather take the risk of putting Aspi in that position. But now we've seen Aspi in the left wing back. We know how he's not that well. So I would start Alonso. If it was my choice, I would want to start Saul. But we can't. I want to see Saul on that pitch. I would rather Saul than majority of these players on this pitch right now. Yeah, it's a massive red flag.
Yeah, I think in that position, in terms of attacking contributions, I think Alonso is our best option there. I think it'd
Yeah,
be if we start Cesar with Quetta, he'd be more that is do more defensively, but going forward, I don't think he'd be helpful to us. But then
and with
again, you
Werner
have to
there, we need to go forward a lot more with Werner there as well.
yeah. Again, you'd have to argue that I think his primary responsibility is to attack. Would you? I think Alonso is simply the best option there, no matter how we see
Yeah.
it. Let me just look at some of the comments in the chat. Werner and Loftus-Cheek is a red flag. What do you say? To me, I think we both agree. But we haven't talked about Werner too. But Matt, what do you think about this comment?
Loftus-Cheek, I mean, I hate it, but if I discuss Werner, I'm going to take your stream down. It'll be demonetized, but I'm not going to start screaming in it. But I do think Werner having that is a massive, massive mistake. And I was actually looking at old clips on the CFC chat, and I said I can't wait to see Werner this season because he's going to be amazing. That's the biggest L
Mhm.
I've ever taken. I can't believe I said that back then, and it just shocks me to this day how he's progressed and how we had this vision for him. And now when he's on this pitch where for the locals, and I said this last game on the terrace as well. It's like I was, the team needed intensity, and the fans are screaming Timo Werner, which I found very embarrassing. So the only praise he's getting is from the local fans at the pitch there. So I'd like to see how he goes today. You know what? Like I'm going to be optimistic. I want to see how he plays today. Hopefully, he can bang in some goals. But I take probability over possibility. And the probability is last game he had a whole list of zeros. This game is looking like he's going to mirror that.
Wow, this is you talking. Who did you just you talking about? Werner,
Werner,
right?
Werner, yeah.
Yeah, everybody, even those in the chat, they're surprised. Why is he starting? This is BH Blue. He says if Werner loves this chick is a red flag, and RSC as right wing back, we're gonna lose. And just Viola, Werner started a big joke, but we don't have a choice.
No, we have a choice. We
We
got
have a
Ziyech.
choice. Yeah, exactly. We have
Wait,
a
go down
choice.
to us
Ziyech
as
is
well.
on the bench. Even I'd rather play
Pulisic.
Ross Barkley in this position because this is more like an 8 or 10 if we're playing 2 10s or something. I don't think Werner does well there. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's just Viola. I'm surprised. No, don't tell me we don't have a choice. We really do have a choice. I wouldn't be shocked if Sutton wins with this lineup. Yep. I think let's see what Ziyech was adopted yesterday, then trained later, and he's on the bench.
That's fair enough. Well,
Do
we
you
still
think?
Pulisic.
Yeah. Do you think this selection is it just comes down because because Ziyech isn't fully fit?
So this is the thing. We're taking these risks in the wrong chances. I understand Ziyech isn't fully fit, but we've got players who are going to not get fit. Sorry, that came out wrong. Like we have players like Mendy, Silva, and who are so tired and need a rest. But we're switching out with Pulisic and Rich James, who are players who need to play. Like it's the opposite of what Tuchel should be doing. And that's the one thing that really confuses me right now. We're taking risks in the wrong places, and that's what Tuchel's been doing. He did it at Brentford, he did it at Madrid, and it hasn't been working out. So will it work today? It's a question.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. Why not? I was going to ask this. I'm not sure why Mount is starting today again. I think he wasn't at his best against Real Madrid, and you'd think maybe giving him a break today so that he recovers mentally and otherwise, and be ready for the second leg of the game against Real Madrid. I don't think I wouldn't
But
have
again,
started him.
go on,
I
finish.
would not have started him. So I'm still not sure why Thomas Tuchel is doing it. And if you're in the chat, let us know. Were you surprised that Mendy starts this game again? Again, I'm going to keep saying it. Since the two big errors Eduardo Mendy made against West Ham United, his average at least one big mistake per game. He says it is exhausted. Another lineup mistake, possibly another lineup mistake, because I don't know why would Loftus-Cheek start in that position?
It just
I mean,
shocks me.
yeah, it shocks me because he's not that quick. You could say he's quick, but how quick is he? He's not. I don't think he's quick enough to stop the Southampton players. They're very very quick, and I'm just not happy right now. It doesn't look good. And hopefully they prove me otherwise. If they do get a win, I'll take it. But it is shocking how we're lined up here. I'm fine with the two sixes.
Yeah,
I'm fine
and
with
Havertz
Alonso.
decent.
But the question remains, what is Loftus-Cheek doing in that position? Except if that's not the structure. Except if we're looking at do you think there's a chance this is not the formation isn't 3-4-2-1?
I mean, we could have Rudiger playing left back, but I don't know. I don't know. That's how I want to discuss it. I'm trying to like figure out my head, so I'm gonna like just figure it out and look otherwise. But at the moment, it looks like a 3.
Yeah, because there's no how. Why? I don't know. Maybe we're not taking this game too seriously, and maybe he's more concerned about getting a win in the second leg against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. But we'll
But no,
see.
but if he did that, if he wanted to get a win against Madrid, then he would take off Thiago, he would take off Mendy, he would take off Christensen. So he's again, and you said before Mount, like you don't know why Mount started this game. Again, I think Mount. I'm very very honest with Mount. I think Mount's been shit this season. Take away Norwich, and we need to keep starting him because that's someone we don't have another option with. I would rather Mount and Havertz start with Pulisic. Like Werner's we should be focusing on. I think Mount, Havertz, Kante, Kovacic, Alonso is a starting in this team. The rest should not be playing. If not playing this game, be rotated for this game because it's just unbelievable these players and the risk Tuchel's taking. Like if you said, he wants to win in Madrid, well then why is Mendy in that pitch? Why is Silva on this pitch? Even Rudiger, we could say he's been very tired. Like I don't know.
I think Rudiger himself, I think he's played so many games at this point. You think, I think he didn't look at his best against. I mean, he wasn't at his best against Real Madrid. What do you think about Rudiger's performance against Real Madrid? He was
I
just
think
everywhere, if you ask me.
yeah. I think because he wasn't the worst player on the pitch, he wasn't the main focus. But yeah, you're right. He wasn't good. I mean, he could see a 3, so obviously that. And the first goal, there was a lack of communications between him and Christensen, and he was just very average. And we take away. No, but he didn't score that game. Sorry, he scored the Brentford game. Yeah, so he didn't pretty much do anything. Like it was just a very average game for him. I think all the defenders did bad.
And I think, again, let's talk about that Real Madrid game a bit before we come back to the analysis of this one. Because I know you didn't think the reason why they got around that is they got chances at that defense like so many times was because they weren't properly protected. I think that's the case really
Mm.
because they had a lot of joy, bypassing our midfield on that day. So before you know it, every time they have the ball, it didn't take them seconds to bypass our defense and get at the bypass our midfield and have a go at our defense. I think even look at Modric's goal. Nobody closed him down. That's to show you. I think again that highlights the fact that Kante's effectiveness in the midfield in terms of protecting the defense is starting to wane away, if you want to phrase it that way. I think he's losing that touch of being able to protect the defense. He does other stuff quite well. He moves, he has great vision to not. Let's not take away that from him. But Matt, can you look at it again? I know you argued otherwise. Don't you think the reason why our defense has struggled against Real Madrid was the fact that they were able to bypass our midfield easily?
I would say that for the second goal, yeah, they like our midfield was kind of shaky, but again, like if we didn't have Jorginho on that pitch, it would have been 4-0 because Jorginho would had the assist and then he tracked back to put Benzema off his goal. So he made a mistake. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but overall, I don't think Jorginho was the blame. It was just the structure of the midfield having him and Kante, and then Kovacic came on and kind of changed his positioning as well. So that game was just all over the place. Really, like it was crazy. Everyone was doing bad. Like I don't think we've ever had that bad of a performance really ever because we were just all over the place. But yeah, it was a major reason because of that, and obviously because of a couple of Mendy's mistakes. But it was a whole team effort. Like we were all shit, everyone.
Yeah, I think we were overall, the whole team overall, from the defense to the attack, they were really, really poor. And again, if you're watching, if you haven't, please make sure to like the video so that the YouTube algorithm can push the stream to more people. And if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel. That helps us grow. And if you're in the chat, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask us now. Let's see what we have here. It looks like everyone is, yeah, exactly. That's what it looks like. Literally everyone is being rested for the Madrid game, which doesn't make sense to me. This game is an equally important game because if we lose this game, the top four looks congested right now. If we drop points, we'll have Arsenal on us. I think let me show the table actually.
Well,
Where
Everton
is
just
it?
won.
Sorry?
Everton just won.
Yeah, that's surprising too. I saw that in the chat. Good luck to him. Let's see. Here we have Tuchel said a certain game are more important yet resting. So I'm not sure why this is happening. Chalobah should have taken Silva's place today, and Christensen should play down the middle. Yeah. The man is 37 and playing at so many matches. He will be tired by the time we play Madrid. I think that's true. I think Chalobah should have started for Christensen to operate from the middle. But then again, Christensen was really poor in the last game. Your thoughts on this comment, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I said that just before. I said that Chalobah should have taken Silva. Silva have a rest. Christian slow in the middle because these are the games we should be playing Christian in these like kind of low-ish block teams. I mean, this game is important, but Christensen can kind of play these games at times. You know, he's an dead average defender, so he can play these games. But I would take the risk on rather not playing Silva and place Christensen in this type of game.
Yeah, so I wanted to show us the table to show why I think Thomas Tuchel should take this game as seriously, because if you look at the table here, Matt, if you look at the table, let's start from Liverpool. I don't think we can catch them. You can say, but we have 59 points. Tottenham has 54 points. Arsenal has 54 points. Even West Ham is a threat as it is. Manchester United, I think you could say they're still threats because we just played how many games? 30 games. So the season isn't finished yet, but there's still a lot of games, a few games to play. So you see, if we lose today and Tottenham win their game, I think we'll be in serious trouble. And even Arsenal, if they win their game, we'll be in trouble too. So I don't know why he's selected a team that makes it seem as if this game isn't important.
But it is an important game, but it's like when we're playing Werner and Loftus-Cheek at wingback, that doesn't make. You can't say he's putting. This is not a serious lineup. This lineup is kind of it's a joke. Like if you're taking this game seriously, don't play Loftus-Cheek at wingback. Don't play Werner, and then don't start Thiago Silva and don't start Mendy. Like these players haven't been, and don't start Christensen. Like, if you're taking this seriously, then don't start like
Hmm.
5 of these players. So I think he's going with he's going with the players who look good on paper, but in real game they're going to be shocking. But again, I'm not going to criticize Tuchel. Obviously I do trust him, and I'm optimistic to see how this lineup is. But from looking at the probability, it's going to look very very bad from previous performances and previous evidence.
Yeah, given the lineup, I think we can all say off the top of our head that this is going to be a crappy game. I hope that's not it. And the fact that we don't have Jorginho on the pitch means we cannot control the game as we usually do. That's Saturn. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the right wing back position scares the heck out of me, and I am not sure why and what he's doing there. So let's look at the chat again. Let me see if I can find something for you to address. It remains to be seen whether Southampton will press high or play low block. I think I'm not sure. I think what they're going to do today because let's see what happens. Everton won. Yeah, congratulations to Frank Lampard. I hope he doesn't get relegated, but even if it does, that's his own cup of tea. I don't want a sip of it. I think he, to me, made me mad about what denying Roman Abramovich in the first place. Chelsea too. I hope that happens. Christensen in the middle is better than he's better in the operating from the middle than in the right centre back position. Because I think it was Matt that said that. Were you the one that suggested Chalobah coming in for
Yeah.
right centre back, Christensen in the middle? Because this just doesn't make sense. We have his like for like. You could argue with Christensen is like for like for Thiago Silva. You could argue. So why risk having both of them in on the pitch? So Matt, let me ask you overall, what type of game are you expecting?
Well, from this lineup, I'm expecting a very, very I'll explain. Very amateur game. I don't think we'll play very professional. We're looking at the players on the pitch, looking at our more the attacking threat. I mean, once we attack, I don't see us getting too many shots on goals if we don't give the ball to Havertz. And from recent games, I've seen Jorginho being the other one giving long balls and Rudiger, and we've lost one
Mm.
of those men on there to give over the top balls. So we've lost Jorginho. So hopefully Rudiger can fill in that spot, even Kovacic possibly. But then on defensive wise, they're all tired, they're all dead. They're being forced to play in these type of games, and I just beg we don't need to be using majority of the pace. Hopefully, we can use more more strategy. You know, get in front of them at times, block them off before because if we've got people like Adams or Livramento going to be running down that wing, then they're going to be using way too much of the centre back's energy, and then like their stamina levels, used to be here. Recent games, it's now here. You do one sprint, it's going to be dropping in here. So just the way we're kind of structured. And as you said, if we're taking this seriously, we wouldn't start half these players. But I do still see us getting the win because we can play our second team and we can still beat Southampton on a good day. So I'm looking forward to the game. I'm not looking forward to seeing a couple of players on that pitch. I'm a bit scared and to see if any injuries occur because I don't want any injuries because we have a bigger game coming up next, like on Tuesday or whenever it is. So we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, and please, if you haven't, go check out Z Volley. That's Mark's new YouTube channel. He has some great content there, and I think you will like it. And please go check it out. Subscribe and let him know I sent you. Also, Matt, look at something I wanted to talk about. I think we have learned over time that the current Chelsea team we struggle a lot when teams press us aggressively.
Yeah.
And I think Southampton would try to do that. And I think every other team have learned that that's the case with Chelsea, that when you press and press very well, that we seem to struggle to progress the ball. If Southampton does that today, do you think we'll have the personnel on the pitch to deal with it?
I think that was a massive reason why Jorginho's on that pitch because Jorginho's weaknesses is when he's getting pressed, he kind of fumbles the ball a bit. So we've got Kovacic and Kante for that. And Kovacic, he's not the one to kind of fumble the ball when he's being pressed. Same as Kante. So I don't think that will be a massive problem. The only problem I can see with Southampton are probably getting some cheeky long balls over the top or some quick passes to our midfield or to our defense who are going to be half asleep. But other than that, again, Southampton isn't a worrying team in my books.
Yeah, again, you must. I know you haven't forgotten that the more we think we're gonna mop the floor with the team, then the charity FC factor kicks in.
Oh,
That has always been the,
yeah,
the case
the
of
charity.
Chelsea Football Club. I wouldn't want to experience that again because it breaks my heart. And I think, no, I don't. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, most especially now that we're trying to rest players and then start those. Okay, let me read. Man United is a banter club. Man Image losing to Everton. Yep, serious banter club. I think they're going to be a serious clear out at Manchester United once Ten Hag takes over because I think it's becoming clear that it's a personality issue really for Manchester United. Are you sure it's a three at the back position?
It's
Yeah, I
looking like
think
it is.
we thought about there's a possibility that it's not a three at the back position because we've learned from Thomas Tuchel. He usually, he thinks a lot. Probably when the game starts, they might switch to a different structure. That's a chance that's the case. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, by the looks of it, for sure, it looks like a three at the back. But if we're going to a four, then I don't see Christensen playing right back. Like it wouldn't make sense. So it does make sense that it will be a three. I think we'll start off as a three, let them kind of sink in, get used to the game, and if they do start pressing us heavily, then maybe we switch to a four, and then Christensen goes right back to cover Walker Peters or something. But by the looks of it, it looks like we'll start at a three.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense if we switch it to a
I don't
back
know.
four.
I
Who
can't
plays in
see.
the
I
right
can't see
back
a four.
position?
Yeah, it doesn't like Christian. It doesn't make sense. And then we slot Loftus Cheek in the middle. We've got three midfielders, and then so we just go to a 4-3-3, and then we never play well when we've got three midfields of Cov with Kante and Loftus Cheek together. Like that never works out. So it doesn't make sense why we would go to a three.
Yeah, let me quickly breeze through the chat. Just realized said, "Oh no, Aspi tested positive to COVID." Oh, TT confirms. Okay, now we know why
Ah,
he's not even on the bench. Yeah, I think.
there's no
Now I
excuse.
understand.
James
hmm
should be in there. James should be there. Then there's no excuse for that.
You think James should have started? Well, I think
Hundred
it's a
percent.
huge risk. I think
But
I
like again, but
prefer.
like what? But why are we risking Silva and Mendy and Rudiger? Like I think he's been out on injury. He needs to come and back in and start getting game time, like with Mount as well and Havertz and a couple other players. But we don't take we don't sub off players like Thiago and Mendy who need to be subbed off. Like it's not a risk playing someone like I don't know Alonso. Like it doesn't matter. But with someone
Mhm.
like Thiago Mendy in this game, like they need to be resting, massive rest. And I don't know why he's doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a very good question for you, but let me just go through the chat. She says he has smashed. Yeah, please, people, please do smash the like button. We have 30 people watching and we have just 11 likes. I think we can do better than that. Please
Like
do smash that like button so that the Google algorithm can push the stream to more people. Chelsea, I'm not sure what that means. But whoever is, if you're watching, please, and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And also like the video. Mikhail says, famous last words, Matt. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Maybe, Matt, you said something that he picked up on.
I think something about Southampton. I was like, oh, Southampton aren't like the best team in my
Okay.
books to play against.
Okay, now I get it. Chelsea, please wake up. I get that. Motor saw I did see you Sunday. I think that sounds probably like a Nigerian. If you haven't, please be sure to smash that like button. And okay, Matt, let's talk about this now. Looking at this formation and looking at the personnel on the pitch, if you, I think that's a better way to phrase it. Where does the creativity come from? Where does the chance creation come from? Most
Hmm.
especially if we're talking about the 2 10s or 2 8s, if you prefer.
That's a good question. I mean, I can't remember I'm going to say this, but I think crosses from Alonso or cut-ins from Alonso to Kovacic and or something because Werner, every time he gets the ball, when he's got the ball, there's no confidence in him. He has no confidence. He doesn't know what he's doing, and when he
Mm-hmm.
gets it, he's just going to lose it instantly. So I don't see any threat in him. Alonso, we can see some crosses maybe going in. Uh, Benarek and Salisu, I don't know how to say his name. They're not the tallest blokes, but Bendarek's pretty big. He's pretty, buff. So he will be a bit stronger on Havertz. Even Romeo, in front of him, Romeo likes to be like a protective DM. Like he literally just sits in front of him. So they're technically playing five at the back because Romeo kind of does that. So the only creative threat I would see is from probably Alonso. Like this from looking on paper, Kovacic as well. We can see Kovacic, but Kovacic tends to drive in the middle, and when you've got someone like Werner and Mount, they don't tend to go use their wings as much, unlike someone like Ziyech. And then Havertz obviously will be covered by 3-4 players, so it's going to be very difficult for Kovacic to get through. But I think he can get some creativity. But majority of the time, from what I'm seeing, it's probably going to be from Alonso. We don't have James there, and majority of our creativity comes from our wingbacks.
Yeah, I think again, but it's not, I don't think it will be enough. I think we will struggle there, and I'm not sure why since the departure of Cesc Fabregas, we haven't had any proper creator in the team. All we've just had a hybrid of players who hasn't done much to help our attacking moves. It's been just the predictable moves, crosses on the carpet or in the air, all coming from the flank. It's been we haven't had any player in the mold of Cesc Fabregas able to split opposition defenders with good passes. That hasn't happened for a while. Mikhail, welcome to the panel, and good to see that you have time to join today.
Big up, lads. Coachila, Matt. How are you guys doing?
Yeah. All good,
I can't complain, and big up to you, brother.
Awesome. Are we excited?
Nervous.
Sorry?
Well, nervous now.
Yeah, I think that's kind of sort of why I wanted to jump on, if I may, Coachella. I think that just to settle the nerves, the focus is for me on not conceding, on not getting hit on the break, on not being caught in positions where a man short system, like as far as the system goes, or overcommitting to one flank and then being exploited on the other. I think those are the things that I'm going to be looking for today, because that's the kind of things that we'll have to work on between now and Real Madrid second leg. It is what it is. The scoreline there is what it is, and today is not necessarily about the Champions League. It's more about the Premier League and not dropping more points. But again, it goes back to the answers for both competitions lie in finding that defensive organization again, and then then we can have the same conversation that we have week in, week out, or how can we be a better attacking team? And to be honest, there are no answers. Everything's an answer and nothing's an answer, because we seem to struggle. We seem to struggle in the attacking side of the game, no matter who we start, no matter who we sub on. However, we know that we are able to execute defensively if we put our minds to it. I think Tuchel kind of caught in two minds right now. He's trying to play a more aggressive style, but it's costing us, games. It's costing us results, and there's only so much time to invest in that the position in the table does not give us much of a cushion anymore. So it's about, can we experiment, or can we just try to grind out a result? I don't necessarily think that who we start has an impact on how we defend necessarily. Yes, against teams that are set up to exploit weaknesses, yes, it does factor in who we start defensively as well. But in my mind, when we're playing an opposition from the Premier League, that's I intend no disrespect. I don't know their league table position, but they're probably a mid-table type side. So I would expect us to have defensive organization first, regardless of whether Loftus-Cheek is on the right wing or whoever it might be, and just not get caught out of position. But that, as I say that, thinking of how Loftus-Cheek plays, I probably expect him to get caught out of position a few times, and then does he have the pace to recover? Heading back towards his own goal, we'll have to see. That's probably the challenge set for Loftus-Cheek today, is not embarrass himself, and generally for the whole team. I think that's the challenge as well, is not embarrass ourselves collectively. And I don't care if we score one goal or two goals or three goals. I'm not going to expect goals. I'm just going to expect the result. That's kind of how I want to approach the game, and hopefully that's what we see.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask you again, given the players we have on the bench, why start Loftus-Cheek in the first place? We have Chalobah, who can play there in that position effectively. That is we're saying that the question remains. The fact remains that is either this structure, because we know how Tuchel operates. There's a chance that the application or the structure could be entirely different from what we're talking about here. But if this is assuming it is 3-4-2-1 and he's here, why Loftus-Cheek? Why we have
Well,
even what's his name again? Reece James is fit, and also Trevor Chalobah is also fit.
I beg to differ. Reece James is not fit. Reece James is returning from injury. It will take him weeks before he's match fit at full fitness level. He's not
Well,
fit.
should we
He's
be
just
playing in these
he's
games to
just
get
off.
fit?
He's off the injured list. That doesn't mean he's match fit. It takes time to bed yourself back into form. It's not that, oh, today I'm available for the roster, hence I'm fit. No, he's not. He's just going to pull another hamstring. So you have to kind of go easy on the Reece James narrative there. He's coming back from injury. Give him time. He's not there yet. He's not back to full fitness, full match fitness. And that shows in the team selection that Tuchel's making, where he's trying to protect him over and over and over. We don't know the Chalobah story. Maybe Chalobah's carrying a knock that they're just trying to avoid playing him. It's possible. Maybe Tuchel hasn't been impressed by how he's training. Maybe that's why he's making a point. Loftus-Cheek, I get the feeling that this is the last straw with Loftus-Cheek. Tuchel's trying to suss him out. If it's either he makes it or he goes this summer. So I think as far as him being picked consecutively, where it doesn't necessarily. He wouldn't necessarily be everybody's first choice for the position that he gets picked in. I do have sympathy for Loftus-Cheek because he never seems to find himself in his own position. It's always filling in for this and filling in for that. But unfortunately, when you're trying to break into the team, unfortunately, that's kind of sort of the script that you'll get handed. Think back to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta started off in Chelsea as being a left back to replace Ashley Cole, an aging Ashley Cole, and he ended up successfully taking over that position as a starter. That wasn't his favorite position. That wasn't the role that but the manager obviously set up tactically to have a right back play as a left back and still manage to deliver results. So the question should be that, okay, what is Tuchel trying to set up tactically when he plays Loftus-Cheek at right back? Or when he plays Azpilicueta as not right back, sorry, right wing back. And when he tried to play Azpi as the left wing back, there was a question mark over what he was trying to accomplish, because I can see Azpi play a left back. I don't see Azpi play a left wing back. I mean, that's definitely not Azpi. So it kind of alluded to maybe he was trying to switch to a back four at some point in the game, but the game kind of got away from us. I think the last two games got away from us, right? And it kind of goes back to the same thing that if Loftus-Cheek is playing today, I think he has to have an eye on the defensive side of the game today, because we don't want to get embarrassed again on counters. If you think about it, every single goal that we have had scored, our defense has been disorganized. We've been one man's have been gotten sucked out of position, or we've overloaded one side of the pitch, and then there's nobody on the other side. It's just defensive organization, and that comes collectively and it comes individually as well. So
who were the two players that played as the 2-6s against Brentford?
2 6s.
Let me see if I can find it.
It wasn't
it was
Jorginho.
Loftus-Cheek, right?
I think it was Loftus. It was Kante, I think, and someone else. It wasn't Jorginho.
Okay, let me see. This is the lineup against Brentford. We had it was 4-3-3, and I think with this structure here, I think you could argue, because we've played the three at the back system so much that whenever we switch system, it's usually sometimes I think it comes off, this should have been the system we should be playing. This should be the system we should be playing all the time. But sometimes it falters so badly that you question, why did we switch to it in the first place? Because look at as they are here, no wonder, because Loftus-Cheek in the middle here, reading games and breaking up opposition moves isn't his best quality, isn't his strongest suit. Because that day I also sensed it. I complained that it's lack of proper protection for our defense. That even though Kante was on the pitch, but he ventured more forward and didn't do much of the stuff, because usually whenever Kante is on the pitch, you could argue we have better protection for our defense, but that wasn't the case that day. You could argue maybe because he was deployed on the left and not in the middle. What do you
When you
guys
think
think?
about it, look at this. This is pretty much the same lineup as Brentford, it's just different positioning. Like, and then we
Yeah.
lost 4-1 against Brentford. Like, why would we do this again? That's the thing. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I,
but the difference today
I'd
is
argue.
that he's not in. Go ahead, Mikhail.
Sorry, just to kind of interject there, I would argue that that's a square peg for a round hole kind of argument. You cannot play an 8 in a 6 role and expect them to execute well. It just doesn't work. You can play a 6 in an 8 role. It's a different conversation. But to play a natural 8 in a 6, it's not going to happen. They don't have the vision. They don't read the game. They don't read the risk. The way a 6 should read risk on the pitch. An 8 looks for opportunities to step up into a pocket. A 6 has to resist that temptation and hold position. It's very different mindsets. And you cannot play Loftus-Cheek in the 6 role and then he fails and you say, oh, he's no good, let's get rid of him. When you start playing him as an 8, as an attacking 8, then we can have that discussion over, does he have merits to hang in there with whoever else the options are. In same the conversation with Gallagher. I want Gallagher back at Chelsea, but he's not a 6.
He's not. No, he's not.
So
And
if
will
we're
never
going to
be
stick
a
him in
6.
the same spot on that lineup that you had there, where Loftus-Cheek was, he's going to get embarrassed too. And if I remember correctly, in preseason, he was embarrassed before he went out on loan. He was played in a 6 role, and he got caught out of position over and over and over again. It's not a role that is designed to be played by a natural 6. So we have to kind of temper our criticism. Like Loftus-Cheek, fine. He has to figure out how he's going to make a place for himself in the team, or he's going to be gone. But he hasn't been played in his true position as much as he would need to, as much as, let's say, a Werner has been. Like the way we've persisted with Werner in his preferred position, we haven't given that kind of freedom or that kind of trust to Loftus-Cheek or opportunity. So
I think we did.
It's kind of unfair in that.
We did it in November. We did it in November. From late
he
October
was
to
in a good
early
nick,
December.
and then he suddenly stopped picking him. So it was like, you have to kind of capitalize on a run of good games and keep playing them. He kind of fell out of the starting lineup, and then he just never found his way back in. And
honestly, Mikhail, if I can comment 1 second, the truth is, of all number 8s we've played on the Thomas Tuchel, I think Loftus-Cheek is a more natural number 8 than all of them. And that's the problem. Why is Tuchel reluctant to play him in that position? And you said something about him accepting to play in whatever position the manager wants him to play because he wants to break into the team. But the truth is, the more he plays in those positions that aren't his natural or preferred position, if you like, it gets worse. We'll never see him at his best. You just see, all we'll do is see flashes of what he's able to do.
You're right. He's not the profile of player that can play a different position every week and execute well. He needs a run of games to find his rhythm in a certain position, so it's not necessarily the best person to pick when you need that squad player to fill in everywhere. He may not be a good option there. But that said, again, if he goes to Crystal Palace or he goes to Southampton or wherever, and they stick him in that number 8/whatever 10 type role up front, I can see him excelling again. So, and then everybody's going to be like, oh, you know what, we didn't use him well. But there is something to be said for how teams get to play and how players get to play their roles. In the attacking context in other teams versus at Chelsea. Chelsea, when teams play Chelsea, they tend to hold that deep defensive block, and it kind of stifles the room for attacking players. That said, today I'm hoping somehow that we sit deeper, that we resist the temptation to go with a high press. It should be a mid press somewhere along the halfway line, so that there is room for somebody to run in behind and try to hit them in space, in behind the last man, their center backs and the goalie, because that's where we are going to find goals. Otherwise, it's just ping pong in the box and hoping somebody gets it to past the goalie. And we've seen it for years. But I'm tired of it. Everybody's tired of it. But it's the role we seem to favor because it gives us possession. At least we hang on to the ball, and we let the oppositions drop back. However, we used to have the defensive nous to kind of spot the counter attack. And if you notice, when we don't play Jorginho on the break, usually what does Jorginho do? He will make sure he fouls whoever is coming away with the ball. Now we can say that Jorginho is slow and he's
But he
predictable in
reads the
that
game
sense,
very well.
but he reads the game, and he's like, I'll take my yellow if I need to stop a breakaway. What happened in the games that he wasn't playing? We had breakaways and goals every time,
Yeah.
every time. So we have to kind of also understand that we become predictable for other teams. So now I expect Southampton to set up to counter us again. So let's see how we react.
Yeah, I think they will do that. I think because of late, it seems as maybe because our defense didn't have a proper protection, especially in the previous game we looked at. I think the smart managers do watch opposition games, and they find out that like we found it very difficult defending counterattacks. And again, we play. Maybe most people aren't paying attention. We play a very very risky high line. We do that. And again, our back three usually because they're good on the ball. They usually progress with the ball
we
deep in the opposition areas without having proper cover. You wanted to say something, Mikhail?
So true, Coachila. I just want to say that we play the way we want our oppositions to play against us. We play with the back line, high line, and we're allowing them to get in behind, make those runs, in the hope that somebody somewhere is going to be able to slow them down enough that we get our people back in position. So it's a gamble. We're willing to take it, but the oppositions are smart enough to avoid taking that gamble. As a result, they frustrate us. So it's a game of tactics, and I think that we play into the opposition's hand when we try to play that game with them, because everybody's kind of sussed us out. They figure out that if they can hang in their own end, we are vulnerable on the break.
They will
find.
We haven't figured out a way to solve that problem.
Well, the argument is to avoid that scenario and try to play deeper yourself, invite them out, and then try to put the ball in behind and actually run after it. The thing is, when we have those scenarios where we actually have room in behind, we don't put that ball in past their last man. We kind of turn around and do a back pass because we're not our psyches are not built to exploit those spaces, and that's what we saw versus Real Madrid. That they are the understanding of their attackers is, if there is that space in behind, we will exploit it. You just have to make your run. So we don't. Chelsea doesn't play like that. Even if we see the space, we're just going to turn around and back pass all the way back to Mendy. So it's that psyche, the attacking. We'd rather hang on to the ball than take a risk, and that's not doing anybody favors. And that's something that hopefully we see change today. I hope we take our chances going forward as opposed to build up so slow. Like, this reminds me of the Willian days when we used to lament about our build up being too slow and him holding up our breakaways, waiting for everybody else to catch up. What's the difference of this lot of younger attackers when they end up actually in the same position where we avoid making those runs, avoid making those passes in behind because we're not that team. We don't make those runs. And if Lukaku or whoever it is trying to make those runs, we're just going to ignore that person all game long. And they get frustrated too.
Yeah, I want to quickly talk about this before I ask the final question, because we're almost closing the show. That the game is just a few minutes before the game. Look, what I've noticed is that I think we don't have disciplined sixes, if you want to phrase it that way. Jorginho does his best. And I think sometimes when he ventures forward, opponents are creative and quick-thinking opponents. The moment they bypass Jorginho, we're done on N'Golo Kante. And N'Golo Kante these days isn't as disciplined as he was under Antonio Conte. And we don't have disciplined sixes like Mikhail, who sacrifices even though he's a slick player and can play further forward. Once we play that high, he usually drops back and ensures that either the spaces on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side is covered up, depends who ventures more even forward. But that's, by the way, the question I want to ask is this. Do we have the players here? Let me just go back to the lineup again for today's game. Do we really have players here if should Southampton, try to press us aggressively, or do we have or if they play, that is, if they defend deep, do you think we have the creativity here or the players to be able to overcome that? Michael, I'll start with you.
I'm trying to look at the lineup here. So it's Kante and Kovacic.
The 2 6s.
And Rudiger, Silva, and Christensen. I would say yes. We have to, and if anything, we have to use it as an opportunity to kind of test ourselves. Is try to play with give them the ball and see how we can stop them or block them, as opposed to keeping the ball and avoiding that scenario. You can argue that we keep the ball because we're scared of giving them the ball, the oppositions. And when the oppositions do get the ball, we're not used to that scenario, so we end up in situations where we're disorganized, trying to figure out how to defend. So our defense is quote unquote the best offense. Offensive was the best defense. That kind of mantra, but it hasn't been working, right? So either we have to kind of go back to the basics of positional awareness, sensing risk, no matter where you are on the pitch. I don't care if you're the forward or you're the winger or whoever you are. If there is risk, you need to anticipate it and go back and cover. And then that has been missing the past few games. So that collective awareness defensively is what I'm hoping for today.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Great input right there, Matt. Your thoughts on that question, and then take some time after that and tell us about your channel quickly. We have about 4 minutes before the game starts.
Yeah, I mean, I already said before just about the creativity standpoint, where I kind of see Alonso doing majority of it, and I hate to say that because our wing backs majority of the time give make the creativity, and Alonso is our only threat in the wing back, because I don't see Loftus-Cheek doing any creativity in that position there. However, I do possibly see Kovacic, if we can get some more pressing to. Oh, the lineup just changed for Chelsea. Just quickly, sorry. But no, yeah. Wait. Yeah, and it looks like we're playing a 3. Yeah, no, we're playing a 3-4-3. That's confirmed. We're playing a 3-4-3 from Premier League and the But yeah, no, just quickly, yeah. So yeah, I do sort of see some creativity. It's more Mount and Werner. I don't see anything from him. As I said, whenever he gets the ball, he panics, he fumbles. So he's going to be the only person that is going to worry me. Mount, if he turns up, it'll be fantastic. And it's just get the ball to Havertz and let's score, because that's been our tactics majority of the time this season, because he's been in fantastic form.
Yeah, and with that, guys, please make sure to go check out Matt's YouTube channel. I will provide his complete information in the description section, so you can go check out his new channel. It's growing fast, and he provides has great content there. And you can see Mikhail's Twitter handle on the screen. Go check out his Twitter handle. I think it's the same with Matt. Make sure to follow them each. And Mikhail, thank you so much for finding time to join. Always good to have you. Your inputs whenever you're on the panel. Great thinking behind everything you said, and I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. And to those in the chat, if this is your first time here, please don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That goes a long way for the growth of the channel. So I'd say see you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning Show. Although this is not Blue Morning Show, this is the pregame show. But we have the Blue Morning Show tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow, and God bless you all. Bye.
Big up, lad.